crumbling economy, a country, a nation, tiptoeing closer and closer to the sequel we've all been dreading for, World War III. Man-made and natural disasters, a crumbling infrastructure, Americans starving, going broke, the American dream non-existent because you have to be in a coma. So you would think that the Democrats would get their act together. You would think that the Democrats would remember all that stuff that they were saying in 2020. You would think that the Democrats would remember that, oh my goodness, we push this propaganda that if we vote for Biden, you know, if we support Biden, we'll make sure Trump doesn't win, because if Trump wins, we'll have World War III, we'll have a weak economy, our nation will fall apart, unchecked corruption, and all that happened under Biden. And now with Kamala as the nominee, something shocking is happening. Trump is getting a huge amount of support amongst voters, and liberals and corporate media are panicking. This is full. These 3 videos I'm going to be playing to you, all of you. You are going to witness Trump derangement syndrome on a level from CNN and MSNBC, the likes of which we haven't seen since 2016. But it's, again, the panic amongst liberals is going to be great. So if you're a liberal, if you are a hater who doesn't like our show because we say mean things about Democrats, don't worry, we say mean things about Republicans, but Democrats, you guys got to be schooled. Well, these videos are going to show all of you, and especially if you're a liberal, maybe you should look away. Trump is gaining more momentum. Now, I don't know how election night will play out. Maybe Kamala will win, maybe she'll lose. But it's very clear, Democrats, Kamala doesn't have this in the bag. It's going to be a neck-to-neck race, and enthusiasm is going to be the key word. And liberals, things don't look too good for you. Huge shout out to Savvy Sabs. Republican voter registration has increased in Pennsylvania. Democratic voter registration is down in Nevada, Arizona, and North Carolina. It's interesting how things have shifted since October began. Let's play this.
Where you have over 50% non-college whites, look at this. Republicans gain 6 points on average.
Wow.
They are picking up ground in the areas you would expect them to pick up ground, right? Those non-college white dominated areas, coal country in the Northeast, Southwest, outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But the bottom line is the registration trends, the trends we've been seeing the last few cycles with Republicans dominating among non-college white voters, very much showing up in this party registration.
It's so interesting because David McCormick, who's the Senate candidate, the Republican Senate candidate, told me actually he believes that can actually propel him to victory because they're narrowing that margin with Democrats of voter registration. What does this mean for Kamala Harris and her chances of victory in Pennsylvania?
All right, so all of this data, bad news for Democrats, right? Good news for Republicans. But there's one thing to keep in mind, right? You had that New York Times Siena College poll that came out yesterday that showed Kamala Harris slightly ahead, but within the margin of her. Why is that? Because take a look here. This is the Pennsylvania margin by party registration in that poll. What you see here is that Kamala Harris, I'm going to come over to your side of the street, Mana, is doing better among Democrats, a 77-point lead, than Donald Trump is among Republicans, a 74-point advantage. He's also doing better with those who are not registered with a party or with another party. But this nugget is key because even though Republicans have closed that registration gap, they haven't closed it completely. So the fact that Harris is doing slightly better among Democrats and Republicans, and there are more of them, that is what gives Democrats solace, is because at this particular point, that state compared.
This is hopium copium. Because what's going to matter is how many people are voting right now. How many people are going to turn up to vote? I've seen this before in 2016. Everybody's saying that Hillary Clinton had it. Hillary Clinton had it. Democrats, this could blow up in your face. And even then, if there's such a tight neck-and-neck race, if it's such by a narrow margin, there could be a chance for a recall, Democrats. If Kamala Harris was so strong, the election wouldn't be this tight right now.
To say Arizona, slightly more favorable to Kamala Harris, at least in the polling data so far.
So what does this tell us? I mean, are we seeing this nationally? Are we seeing this in other battleground states, this change in the registration advantage, Democrats?
Yeah, all right. So this, if it was just Pennsylvania and we're seeing just one state, I don't think we'd necessarily be doing this segment, but I believe it is part of a larger picture. Fewer voters who are registered as Democrats. This is across the battleground states where you have party registration. Not every state has party registration, right? Wisconsin doesn't, Georgia doesn't, Michigan doesn't. But in the battleground states where, in fact, you do have party registration, there are now fewer registered Democrats in Arizona, fewer registered Democrats in Nevada, fewer registered Democrats, and of course, the great state of North Carolina. So what we're seeing in Pennsylvania is being seen in other states as well. More folks are registering as Republicans as compared to Democrats.
But they're still panicking. But here's what's also panicking Democrats. More men, young men, are supporting Trump.
Our latest NBC News poll is showing a big gender gap, with young men shifting their support to Donald Trump. NBC's Shaquille Brewster went tailgating in Background, Georgia, to find out why.
Gee, maybe it's because when the hurricane hit and like a lot of guys were thinking like, geez, Kamala and Biden ain't doing jack for us.
Before kickoff in Atlanta, almost everyone tailgating is a Falcons fan.
I'm with NBC News. We're trying to talk to young voters.
And among young men at this NFL stadium in a battleground state,
Probably I'll vote, but probably for Trump. You want to tell us who you're planning to vote for? Trump?
Hey, Wilhelm, there's only one God Emperor of mankind, okay? We can't have replacements, okay? Can't have people saying, we can't have a Goj Van Dyer, okay?
growing support for former President Trump.
Why Donald Trump?
I enjoyed his policies, and he did treat us pretty well.
For generations, the youth vote has favored Democrats.
You go first.
But this year,
Does it feel like more young people are becoming more conservative or trending in that direction?
Definitely.
it's a gap that's shrinking, with young men driving that shift. Vice President
Remember, Democrats, you push a lot of people away, okay? And Democrats, a lot of your policies weren't that popular. And of course, constant pandering, failing of policies, not even focusing on the economy or uplifting people, not trying to get us out of these wars. Does it come as a surprise why a lot of men, especially young men, would want to maybe break away from the Democrats? Maybe they would want to vote for somebody else?
Kamala Harris's lead among men 18 to 29, now within the margin of error.
Why Vice President Harris?
Because I'm not voting for anybody else.
But President Biden won young men by 11 points in 2020.
Debatable. I mean, what? But gee, kid, are you saying we don't have election integrity in this country? Listen, I live in Chicago, okay? Election integrity is a true anathema here, okay? In this city, votes never disappeared, not once in a Chicago election.
Exit polls. For many of them, it's all about one issue.
Well, the obvious issue is going to be the economy.
Issues you care most about? Economy. Economy is the top issue for you? Why?
It is the top issue. I said this before, the number one issue, and I know we're all worried about the war. I don't want this war to happen. I don't want it to happen. And I understand that social issues and, identity politics does weigh in. But before all else, the one issue that is going to be the number one thing, it's going to be the economy. Because if you're broke, you're not going to care about anything else but putting money in your wallet, food in your belly, shelter over your head, and gas in your car. Come on, you know I'm right. The economy is the one issue. It is the first issue. And notice how corporate media and Democrats are trying to spaz out and put other things ahead of it. It's the economy, stupid. It's the economy.
I'm working and I live alone, so that's a big part for me.
You see more excitement among young men for your message?
Yes.
Dante Thompson is the executive director of the Georgia Young Republicans. He and his volunteers are hitting the economy message hard.
Men want to be in control of their own destiny. And those are talking points that we use when we talk to them.
Former President Trump chasing the demographic, making multiple appearances at UFC fights, and doing a round of podcasts with hosts popular among Gen Z men.
Oh God, no, not that guy. I mean, the last thing Trump wants to do is be near the KSI, though. I don't know if you heard that song, but it's like a Disney national anthem kind of song.
Thank you, President.
And while Republicans say they see a lot of long-term opportunity in young voters, Democrats say they're working to make up lost ground.
Very aware of it. The Democratic Party is making efforts to correct it.
Devontae Jennings leads the Young Democrats of Georgia.
You've got to be in the trenches talking to people, letting them know what the issues are, where you stand with the issues, and how.
Yes, but what is Kamala standing for? All right. Now, look, this young guy, he's with the Democrats. Fine. It's his choice. Freedom of choice. I believe in that. But what does Kamala stand for, sir? Does she stand for anything? Because when you say you get in the trenches, like I have been in those trenches, I've seen a lot of these activists and people try and rally and hype up the Democrats. I remember from 2016 up until 2020, Democrats were in all these activist groups, right? Constantly promoting, oh yeah, we got to resist Trump. And as soon as Biden gets in, nothing changes. Everyone went to brunch. What's going to be the difference with Kamala? Because Kamala said that she wouldn't change anything. Would she go back in time and change anything during the past 4 years? She said she wouldn't. Folks, let's ask this Coca-Cola classic question. How's the Biden-Harris economy treating you? Type 1 for, oh, it's fine, Kit. You're just overreacting with this economy. Everything's fine. Type 2, Jesus Christ, man. Not this question again. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the day after. Biden economy working great. I didn't get the memo. I wonder how many 2s will be in the chat. I wonder. Do you ever truly wonder?
You're actually going to care for them.
Kamala Harris recently appearing in a popular NBA podcast.
It is so good to
Thank
be
you for
with
sitting down with
guys.
us.
Both campaigns drawing up their final plays to win this group that could decide the presidency. Shaquille Brewster, NBC News, Atlanta.
Ah, yes. But now, Trump derangement syndrome on full display. Full display for all of you to see. Because now, Joy Reid accuses Republicans of gaining polls and warns that Trump is laying groundwork for an insurrection. An insurrection erection 2.0. Oh, no, folks. If you were so afraid of January 6th, get ready for January 6th too. The revenge. The revengeance. Okay? If you're a Metal Gear Solid fan, you know what I'm referencing. I love you. I love you. Where'd you get that? I made it the hell up, Jack. Hey, that senator has my vote. Anyways, here's from BSDNC from Joy Reid as she accuses Republicans and warns that Trump is laying the groundwork for an insurrection. Oh no, is Trump becoming Julius Caesar? Oh no, is Donald Trump going to upend the republic? Well, tell us, Joy. Tell us what's the readout. Tell us.
At this point, you can't call what Trump is running a campaign.
Okay, if it's not a campaign, hey, let's find out in Big Book of Words. There you go, the Big Book of Words. Hey, the thesaurus. So let's talk about campaign. All right, so if it's not a campaign, let's see if I can find it. Campaign, C-A-M, campaign. We're going to go for a campaign. That's care, capitulate, captain, caption. Campaign. Hang on. Going to look in this. Campaign. All right. In the thesaurus. And listen, I don't want anyone to type in the comment section like you don't learn anything here. I'm getting sick of that. So shut up. Campaign, noun. Operations, plan, canvas, electioneer, fight, war. Okay. You can use any of those other words. There you go. There you go. There you go.
As friend of the show David Corn points out in Mother Jones, what Trump and J.D. Vance...
I don't want anyone to say, Kit, you're being mean. Or, Kit, can you be serious? But this guy who wrote this article for Mother Jones, his name is David Corn. Put a P in front of where the C is at, you get a whole other different name. Okay, am I childish for saying that? Am I childish for pointing that out? Yeah. Yeah, I never said I was the hero of the story, okay? His name is David Corn. Introduce him again one more time, Joy.
So David Corn points out in Mother Jones what Trump and J.D. Vance and House and Senate Republicans are running is a massive disinformation campaign.
Yeah, David Corn, you tell us. Tell us with your in-depth, no pull-out analysis on Mother Jones. I know where I'm going when I die. It's okay, folks. I'll see you guys in heaven while I'm in HELL.
Aimed at warping Americans' reality. And they're doing it with violent, terrifying, and sometimes bizarre conspiracy theories that set the table for maybe armed resistance to a Kamala Harris win or mass.
Do you have proof of that? Evidence! Evidence! Do you have proof? Proof. PROOF. Proof that he's going to launch it. So wait. Every single Trumper, at least according to BSDNC logic, right? It's like, if we don't win the election, we'll start a new revolution. These are the same people, corporate media, who constantly keep on promoting more lies and misinformation. I mean, for Christ's sakes, corporate media helped promote the article, or at least statements written by Mark Cuban calling Donald Trump a freaking communist. Hey, Trumpers, did you know you're a communist now? Welcome to the party. Now all of you are communists. Watch a Trumper will wake up and they'll realize like their whole house is painted red. Instead of the American flag, it's the hammer and sickle of the Soviet Union. They're gonna be like, what happened? You were always communists. Do you have proof? Proof. No wonder trust in corporate media is dying down.
And they're doing it with violent, terrifying, and sometimes bizarre conspiracy theories that set the table for maybe armed resistance to a Kamala Harris win or mass acceptance of American fascism.
Donald Trump is not Hitler 2.0. You got me defending Donald Trump here, corporate media, okay? Now, I'm not going to vote for Trump. I'm going to vote for Jill Stein, but at least according to BSDNC logic, my vote for a Green Party candidate apparently is going to help out Trump. Now, that's not how it works because I don't like Republican politicians or Democrat politicians. But Trump being a fascist, under whose administration is third parties and independents and even Democratic primary challengers are being denied to be on the ballot? Because people were saying that would happen under Trump, but the key word is but. But under the Biden-Harris administration, we've seen the Greens, Libertarians, Independents, and yes, even the Democratic primary challengers struggle to be on the ballot, struggle against corporate media, struggle against the censorship, struggle against the rules and regulations in all the various states. Trump's the fascist? How so? I mean, I need evidence and proof. Otherwise, corporate media, you are lying. The key word is lying.
Trump and Republicans backed by far right-wing billionaires like Elon Musk and right-wing media and anti-woman.
Elon, I don't know what the hell you were thinking jumping up and down like that, like a goofy, but man, that photo is now meme worthy, okay?
Manosphere podcasts are creating social media or gaming social media apps like X Twitter in Trump's favor and pumping disinformation into the brains of Trump supporters. Not quite foreign interference, but not exactly different from what Vladimir Putin would do.
I gotta quit pausing. I'm sorry. Oh, it's Putin now. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Putin. And you know what else? If this is it, the big reveal. Behold, everyone. It is I. Evil Kits. That's right, people. Now I am part of the right-wing grift. Because I've had liberals call me a right-wing grifter. And you know what? You were right the whole time. And we're going to take over the world. And we would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you smug liberals. So now Putin's involved, Elon Musk. Then it's going to be the Pope of Rome, the magician of Atlantis, Bigfoot, Santa Claus, cats and dogs living together. It's all one big conspiracy. Corporate media is where brain-dead individuals lose their ability to be free thinkers, okay? And corporate media is a place where you don't get there to be informed. You get there to be told to follow orders.
And in many ways, the disinformation campaign is working. Base Republicans today believe everything from Democrats secretly manipulating the weather from a secret base in Alaska to Trump being incapable of losing this election. He's winning in a landslide. And some Democrats are starting to believe the disinformation too. Have you noticed how sharply the polls have shifted in Trump's favor over the last couple weeks? With these claims that Trump is surging with Black and Latino voters and leading in every single swing state.
Well, maybe it's because it actually is happening that Latino voters, Black men, voters in general are actually excited to potentially vote for Donald Trump, or either that. You're also not counting in third-party voters and the fact that Kamala Harris isn't really a popular candidate because she wasn't voted for. She was anointed. I mean, there's nothing exciting about Kamala. You're not doing your own research. Do you guys remember the 2020 primary? I mean, Kamala started off as a bang and then ended off as a fart in the wind. That's what happened. And corporate media wonders, how come nobody trusts us anymore? It's because you suck.
According to secret internal polls, despite all the Hitler talk, yes, this race will be far too close. Because unfortunately, we do have a fascist groundswell in parts of this country, mainly among white men, let's be clear.
Oh, no. White men now, bad guys. Okay, when you make an assumption that fascism is on the rise, show evidence and proof. Show me. Because I've been seeing under Democrats, the silence and suppression of independent media on social media. You know, I've seen it. I've seen suppression happening. In fact, as soon as Biden got into office in 2020, you know, the massive wave of censorship intensified to 11 under those 4 years. Pretty much jackboot kind of behavior. What happened to independent media during those 4 years? Candidates not being on the ballot, not being allowed to be on the debate stage, including in a primary too. Wow, that's something, Democrats. Oh, following the orders and don't question the wars. Like conflict between China and America over Taiwan, Ukraine war, genocide in Gaza, don't protest. Boy, those crackdowns on protesters, those anti-war protesters, that's something. But don't worry, AOC had plenty of time to do a selfie before anything else. Oh, wait, what about Uncommitted? Remember Uncommitted? When they wanted to speak at the DNC convention and they were kicked outside? But it's okay. It's Trump's fault. It's white men's fault. It's men's fault in general that fascism is on the rise, even though we have a corporate oligarchy that has allowed this kind of institutional neoliberal fascism to exist thanks to neoliberalism and neoconservatism. Wall Street's running the show, but corporate media is saying, oh, it's all because of Trump we got fascism.
But in small pockets among Black and brown men, too. This happens to be a global phenomenon as women become more economically independent and seek positions of power. But friend of the show, Simon Rosenberg, points out that just like in 2020 and 2022, dozens of right-wing polls have been dumped into the marketplace in the last few weeks, 12 in Pennsylvania alone. Those polls then.
And the liberal media doesn't do the same. I mean, come on, don't stop talking to people like we're stupid, Democrats. I mean, it's really starting to get really annoying just how little you think of us.
And swing the polling averages to the right, making Trump look strong and Kamala Harris look stalled. Now, there are lots of explanations for why you'd want to game the polls. Entrepreneurial Republican pollsters can certainly gain favor with Trump. who's apparently fuming about Vice President Harris's billion-dollar fundraising and positive press.
I don't think he cares. I don't think he gives. Look, just at that line from Predator 2, when the Predator jumps out of the bathroom and is running from the hallway to get away from Danny Glover's character, and Danny Glover's character says, "I'm a cop," and the old lady says, "I don't think he gives a shit. I don't think Trump gives a damn."
And then there's the more sinister explanation.
Get ready for the more sinister thing, folks. Evil.
That if Trump, Republican pollsters, and even jittery Democrats convince enough people that his victory is inevitable, how much easier would it be to claim that the election was stolen if he loses? And how much easier would it be to get his base to rise up and maybe even get violent the way they did when he lost the last time? How much easier would it be to get the Republican House Speaker or John Roberts and the right-wing Supreme Court conservatives to throw the election to Trump? These are the things we need to consider.
Do you have proof or evidence of this? Because right now you're speculating. You're speculating that something's going to happen. You know, no one talks about how on January 6th, the cops kind of open up the door and let the Trumpers in. No one talks about how Donald Trump didn't want anyone to even go near the Capitol building. No one talks about how Nancy Pelosi refused to bring in the National Guard, especially there to have additional security there. All right. Now, what happened when all those people went into the Capitol building? A whole lot of nothing. I interviewed the shaman guy on the show. Okay. They didn't burn the building down to the ground. World War III didn't happen. It's happening now, probably. But the Republic still continued on, but at least according to AOC, and they actually did a documentary too. They did a documentary on January 6th. And of course, like with any documentary, they're going to play like the serious boom kind of music in there. So now you're making this accusation that every single Trump supporter, every single Trump voter is somehow waiting in wings, hiding in their houses right now, saying as soon as Trump gives us the order, we attack. You got proof of that?
Donald Trump is not running a normal election. He's talking America into damn near a civil war to terrify voters into supporting him. And if that doesn't work, he's laying the groundwork for Insurrection 2.0.
The Insurrection Erection 2.0. Isn't that fan-fucking-tastic? Hey, liberals, I mean, do you have this weird fantasy about, wars and conflict and people dying all the time, every time? Because what we just heard there from an establishment accredited authoritative news source, that Trump is apparently, him and his campaign, are trying to incite a civil war or an insurrection. That's a bold claim. Now, do you have proof? Or are you saying from your feelings? Are you letting this fantasy live in your head? It seems to me that Democrats and liberal media not only lost their ability to think critically when Trump got elected, but now they're constantly promoting fear to allow their unhinged viewers. And when Donald Trump almost lost his life the first time around, right? When the assassination happened in Pennsylvania, you had a lot of liberals and vote blue no matter who people saying, "Oh, I wish that bullet connected." Why do you want that bullet to connect, liberals? If you're so confident, man, you better hope that your candidate can stand toe to toe against Trump. But no, you're trying everything. You're trying to arrest him. You're trying to send him to jail. Trying to do this. Trying to do that. And the second time somebody tried to go after Trump, again, you see a lot of liberals saying, "Oh, I wish something happened." Why do you want that to happen so much? It's almost as if liberals, you guys are the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen. And these are the same liberals that then go cancel culture, censorship. And how'd that work out? All those news outlets that were even promoting cancel culture and censorship. What happened to Me Too and Time's Up? They went away. What happened to Black Lives Matter? They went away. What happened to Vice, Vox, BuzzFeed? Remember those networks? How they used to channel a lot of that cancel and censorship culture? It went away because people aren't listening to it anymore. And so the next generation is going to make its own choice. Liberals, you're not serious people. You're not critical thinking people. And in many ways, liberals, you guys are cowards. So I just wanted to say, don't believe the hype. Don't fall for the propaganda, and break away from the two-party system.